it hasn't quite worked out as we thought.
Mark Jacobson is here. He's a combat veteran who served in Afghanistan in 2006. He also served in Kabul as a deputy NATO representative and was a senior advisor to Defense Secretary Ash Carter. Mark, I start with you. Your reaction to what is unfolding.
It's really hard to find words. I said just the other day that my concern is that this is not just going to look like Syria, but more like Rwanda. I think the actions of the administration right now are a bit shameful. And I only say that given what we've seen in the last 24 hours. The president has owned this, and he made a decision that he views as the right one. But the dissembling and refusal to use words like abandonment and evacuation, when that's exactly what's going on, says to me that people aren't comfortable with this decision. I'm also very concerned about the speed at which the Taliban are retaking the country.
Let me show you the president's address to the nation just a few weeks ago on this topic, Rick Stengel.
The Taliban is not the North Vietnamese army. They're not remotely comparable in terms of capability. There's going to be no circumstance where you see people being lifted off the roof of a embassy of the United States from Afghanistan. It is not at all comfortable.
Do you stand by those words, Rick Stengel, and do you think President Biden does?
I would agree with what he said. What we're seeing here is a tragedy. It's not an American tragedy, however. It's an Afghan tragedy. And after 20 years, we thought they would be able to defend themselves. We've spent hundreds of billions of dollars there, and it hasn't quite worked out as we thought. If it's just the speed with which this is happening, then that's an optical problem.
Rick, I think you're missing something here, and it's really hard for me to disagree with you. But, you know,
everybody else does. I don't know why it's hard for you.
There are reports from our own embassy that there have been beheadings, there have been executions, that the Taliban, as you've just heard, going door to door. Women are texting and calling colleagues of ours here in Washington saying the situation is dire, that they're being targeted. Girls are being taken hostage as, quote, child brides. Well, we would call that kidnapping and rape. What is our moral obligation to the people of Afghanistan?
Any government that takes Afghanistan by force, that takes power by force, won't be recognized. That's very important. It's a very important signal to the Taliban.
The Taliban is already being received as official diplomats in Beijing and Moscow and Tehran. So for all of those promises, even if they cared about recognition, they are accomplishing on the ground all the recognition they need. They are imminently going to get the capital itself. And they are already being recognized by China and Russia. Women are being killed. They're being targeted for doing what we asked them to do, what we encouraged them to do for 20 years, to join civil society, to get educated, to leave their villages, defy their fathers. I've seen it myself. I've been there. And, I mean, I know this is not your sole job, but you are the person that is speaking for the U.S. government right now. And don't we have a moral responsibility to do something for these people? Just today, the White House repeated the president is not going to change his position. He's been consistent on that. Even when he was vice president, that was his position. He disagreed with the surge. We all know that. But we're seeing it on the ground in real time. People are being beheaded, and that's coming from Embassy Kabul.
It hasn't quite worked out as we thought.